Uh, Hello, everyone. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Oh, messed my hair up. How are y'all tonight? Who's here? Who's out? Who's in? Who's where? Good evening. Nothing special tonight. Decided to go live for a little bit. You want to come in? Come in. Where's my friends? It's just me, myself, and I. Where's my friends? Well, where's everybody tonight? Is Art having a thing tonight, or someone I'm missing something somewhere? Let's see. Self care, wellness, care and health. Big Billy Bob is having a show. Nobody's live, so I thought I would go live, but nobody's here. Oh, hi, Living. I dropped the link. We'll see if anybody shows up. If not, we'll just be us and have fun. I don't want any disaster like last night. That was not good. It's funny later, but not really. The detective device not. Are you there?
Hello.
The detective device not.
Oh, I gotta get rid of the
Are you
YouTube.
there?
Okay.
You
Can
got
you
to
hear
mute.
me now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, last night was definitely a disaster.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know how they were able to do that, but they had the StreamYard froze up to where I couldn't do anything. And I was trying so hard to kick them out, and I couldn't even get back to chat to see. You said there was a lot of people trolls in the chat. I couldn't even see that. So I did when I edited the video. I also put no live chat replay. So
Right.
hopefully if anybody does watch that video, they won't, be able to see the chat, so they won't know. Um, but that was just so funny, not funny, but odd how, we're just sitting there talking about things that can happen like that, and then it happens. So,
Right. I
but
meant to turn on where you could piggyback, but how do I do that? I don't think I can. We've started.
oh, it's okay. I don't have to piggyback.
Well, I was gonna do it, and I turned it off the other day because I didn't want someone that I knew was coming up the piggyback.
Yeah.
Let's say recording, hotkeys, layout, guest. Okay,
Is it under
there
the
you go.
settings
That
or something? Okay.
did it pop up?
Yeah, it popped up.
Okay.
All right, let me make a title.
Oh, I also found out one of the people we were talking about last night,
Mm-hmm.
Wolf. One of the people that hang out with her is who likes to pop up on people's and do porno.
Oh,
That's why I told her about what happened to Kristen, on her Facebook. She said it was probably that group,
probably.
but I don't know if she's listening or here. But I don't know how to tell her that those people are bad. I hadn't seen her in a couple of days. She's been kind of hiding since she had a panic attack too after all that happened. So
Oh, okay. Is that when she was talking about in the shower she'd been taking too many hot baths or something?
I don't know. It had to do with her Facebook, and her mom and dad made her start over her YouTube. You know, she didn't have that much on her YouTube, but she had to start it over, and she wasn't happy about it.
Oh.
So I'll watch that later. No, I was watching my What You Doing Willis and waiting for him to get over with. And I was watching something else. That's why I started it a little bit late. I wanted to finish watching that.
Okay.
I didn't see anything on Ark. I looked. I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, I didn't. I could have swore I saw it earlier, but it could have been a previous one or something.
Well, see, he was supposed to do it last week, and we got off, and he didn't do it. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, today was the last day of school for my daughter. Yay! And I was telling you that I told her I wanted some kind of a schedule set up as far as the days that I would keep the baby for this summer so that I would know ahead of time, and also she could make whatever, plans she needed to make without the not having the baby there. She could do it on those days. So she picked Wednesday and Saturday, which is fine with me. Saturday, so her and her husband can have one of the weekend days to themselves, which is good. And then Wednesday, just because I guess she's figuring, every so many days she'll be ready for a break herself. So that works out good. But I do just Wednesday morning the puzzle, but I'm doing my lives on Tuesday and Thursday, so that works out perfectly.
right.
And hey, Tina Ladybug. So
and
we
you
got
still
that
don't know about
straightened out.
Peppa
And
Pigland.
No, and she said she may decide to wait and not go this year because she doesn't know if the baby is old enough, if she would just be scared or what. But she said she may decide in July, that she still wants to go or something. She doesn't know. You can't hardly pin her down for anything. I think she thinks, that she's going to want to just sit home all summer, but she's not usually like that. She usually likes to have a plan and, go and do things. So
Right.
who knows? It's up in the air, but at least I have it pinned down on the things. I know we're going to South Carolina. The week after we go to South Carolina, I'm going to help my friend do her yard sale. Then I don't have anything until we go to St. Augustine. And then I have a doctor's appointment in June. The baby has a dentist appointment in July. So really our summer is not that booked up. So we can still squeeze it in. Hey, Black Widow. Bingo, 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 she says. I thought there was going to be a bingo tonight, and I looked around and I didn't see anybody. And then I messaged Norma to see if she wanted us to do a pop-up, but she had dance practice with the grandkids today. So that's where she was. I just got done talking to her. Hi, the gaming family.
Hi.
I haven't been able to get to your channel yet, but I will. I did have a couple people subscribe last night. With all the craziness going on, I still did get some subscribers, so I appreciate that. Hi, Joe. Yeah, I thought you or Stephanie were doing Friday nights. Yeah, I wish Norma would have been home earlier and we could have done one.
But you have to be the one hosting it to do it, right?
Well, no, I mean, you can try to pull up the board on your side. I don't know if the bingo board program doesn't work good on my Chromebook.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
why we had,
yeah, I don't even know where it's at. I haven't done it.
yeah.
So
Oh, Stephanie got busy. That's why they didn't have it. Okay.
no, we can do a puzzle. Oh no, I can't even do the puzzle. So we're just chatting tonight, taking a break.
Well, no, I can pull the puzzle in from my side because the puzzle doesn't have to be connected to chat. So I don't think I'd have a problem with that. I can run the puzzle on my channel and I can run the word game on my channel. But for some reason, that bingo game, whatever program it uses or whatever, um, you know, I can't do it.
Right.
Well, Joey, doesn't matter. If you want to do a pop up, I'm sure people would come play bingo. Like I said, I was looking for it earlier, but I just can't do it from my end because of the how my Chromebook does.
Well, since there was no one doing any bingo or karaoke, we decided we'd just go do a pop up live and talk. So if anybody wants to do a bingo, let us know and y'all can go over there.
Black Widow definitely wants the bingo. So if you want to try pulling the board up on your side, you can. Oh, wait. Joe's going to ask her husband if he minds moving. Then she might can do it on her channel.
I don't have the website for the pop up, but you could get it to me. But I
I can give it to you.
so no tonight about anybody want to come up and sing or just sit and talk. That's all we're doing. Talking about our summer.
Yeah, today was the last day of me having to watch the baby for a little while. Oh, I think she's going to do it. She said, okay, give me 5 minutes. Oh, there wasn't a bingo last time either. Oh my goodness, you must be having withdrawal, not being able to play for 2 days.
Yeah, but we thought we'd come on for a little bit. I
Hey,
need the
Norman
hour.
Clay.
Hey, Norman.
Now
Come
we
up
got
and
Joe thinking maybe she's going to do a pop up since they didn't have bingo last night or tonight. So there might be bingo over at Joe's here in a little bit.
No, but we just talk about our summer. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I'm hoping next week I get the word that my sister-in-law signed the papers, and my nephew said he would come down, go get his brother, and they would go sign the papers.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think Black Widow's having bingo withdrawal.
Right. As soon as I get all my paperwork signed and everything done, I can start moving on a little bit and getting things done in this house.
And what have you decided you're going to actually do?
I live in Georgia, but what I'm actually gonna do is probably just put paint on the walls and probably new floors. Not take a wall down.
Now, when you say new floors, are the subfloors okay? You just going to put the floor covering over it, or
We're just gonna put something over what I've got.
okay?
We might have to take it up and put something else new down, but as far as I know, we're just gonna make it where it is able to be sold within the next year. Because if I do something, my friend told me that if I do something they don't like it, and you spend all that money, and then they redo it, you wasted money, but you may have gotten it in the sale. But she said, if you sell it for what it is now, you still have that money you didn't put out on it.
Right. And that's probably very true. Some people will buy it, are looking for a house that they can do some renovation to, you know, but you're not going to get top dollar for it if it's not updated. But then again, if you get enough out of it, it doesn't matter. And you don't have to go through the aggravation of living there while they do the renovation and all of that, you know.
Right.
So that might be, better for you. But um, how big a house is it? Is it just 2 bedrooms or three
Three bed,
bedrooms?
3 bedrooms, 2 bath. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. Living room, dining room, kitchen, and an extra. I call it the bonus room. It was a porch, and they had it years ago. About 2 years after they moved in, there was a lot of brick left, and they bricked in the porch, and it's got a fireplace that doesn't work, but it's got a gas heater out there. Fireplace could be opened up and cleaned out and used again if anybody wanted to.
Right.
But my father-in-law had it closed off with a piece of metal back when he got cancer because he couldn't bring in firewood anymore.
Norma says that that's what we're doing, just fixing up what we have to sell ours within the next year. Where are y'all going,
Well,
Norma?
that's new.
I know they want it to go to Tennessee, I believe. It's either Tennessee or Kentucky. She has family.
Wow.
Um,
Uh,
who else is?
that's on your side. You got
Well,
to
but
pick.
it's not showing up in my chat.
Let's see if they're on my side.
Well, they got the paper clip on them. That's
Oh, I
weird.
had to start my computer over this morning because I couldn't do anything. So that last night really messed us all up. Let's see, can I do anything?
Oh, if not, the next town over. Let's see what it says. Block user. Put it in timeout. Let's put him in timeout. Okay. Yeah, we don't know. It looked like it was on my side, but it didn't show up in my chat.
Another troll.
That's strange. But then again, too, it shows like Norma and Joe and Betty were all on my side, but they're not showing up in my chat. Let me
Yeah,
get.
they're on your side.
Let
You
me
did
get.
restart. You did turn your computer off and restart it, didn't you, last night?
Yeah.
I did that this morning.
Well, on my phone, it is not showing any of that stuff. Let me go in, maybe because I was in through your thing. Let me go in through my channel. There we go. 5 watching. There, I see him. Okay. Yep.
Hi, Christian.
Okay. Well, sorry about that.
Maybe none of the bad people will come in tonight. We had one, but it wasn't really. He's just up.
A Trump person.
Yeah. You are gonna have a pop up. What time? At 9 or when you turn your computer on?
Whenever she gets ready, I guess.
Yeah. But I could take it or leave it, bingo. I'm not hooked on it.
Well, I like the puzzle game. I like the word game, and I like the bingo. That drawing game, I could take it or leave it. It just I can never figure out what they're wanting you to call the different puzzles. Pictures.
Right.
So I don't care about that so much.
Did you notice Nightbot's asleep?
My Nightbot's working.
Well, mine's not.
Uh, let's see. That's mine. That's mine. Yeah, I hadn't seen yours come on. Mine's working. You got him blocked or anything?
Nope. I don't think I do.
Yeah, I got you hooked on those puzzles, Norma. That was so funny today. I was getting tired, and I said, "Well, let's stop the word game. Y'all want to do a puzzle?" And they were like, "Yeah." Her and Lisa D. They were like, "Yeah, let's do a puzzle." Then we did what, like 3 puzzles? I was like, "We got to quit, or we'll be sitting here all day doing these puzzles."
Well, see, I tried to get in on the last puzzle, and it was only showing me old puzzles, and I clicked again, and now I said, let me try something else, and I
Well,
couldn't get anything to work.
because you have so many windows open, you need to refresh before
Oh,
you
I
try
did.
to do that. Because that's what it was, is because every time I put up a new puzzle, I pin the new link to it, and it
Yeah,
removes the previous link. So if you were getting in on the previous link, then that was you weren't refreshed.
yeah, I refreshed, but I said, it's probably from last night's fiasco, because I went somewhere else and tried to do something, and it wouldn't do it, so I said, let me start my computer over again.
Yeah. Well, see, mine shuts down every day. I don't go completely out, but I mean it turns off, and but I don't leave tabs open like you do either. I think my Chromebook would totally be confused and wouldn't be able to work right if I had a bunch of tabs open.
Yeah, I leave my tabs open.
Well, that you
Yeah,
shouldn't do that. That's not good for your computer. Your poor computer is like, I got all these things going on at the same time.
yeah, too many.
Yeah.
And then I had to re-sign into everything. And that gets frustrating sometimes. Yeah, I should put it to sleep more, but I don't.
Well, how often do you go in and clear your history?
Once a week.
Oh, okay.
I was told I should do it every day, but I do it about once a week. Yeah, because sometimes I can't get into my Twitch right now. It won't let me get into Twitch. I don't know why.
Mm.
It won't open it. It's a player. Maybe because I'm using StreamYards, it's not. Doesn't want to open the player. So well.
I put some of my playlists on the podcast thing in YouTube. Georgia Dog 07. Hello, welcome.
Hey, Georgia dog.
Um, anyway, I had like 36 people watch some of my videos. So
Oh,
I'm wondering if that time, because it has analytics and everything, and I'm wondering if that watch hour time counts towards our overall time. Because if it does, you may want to do that. You may want to put your, and all it is clicking a button and making a thumbnail for the podcast, putting a title and a description, and turning it on. That's all it takes.
Where's that at? In your
On your, where you go to create on your dashboard, and it says
yeah.
videos, lives, it says podcast. And you can go into your playlist and pull the menu on it, and it says uh set up as a podcast, and click yes, yes, and then it'll do that. But I'm gonna ask the question if the podcast watch hours count towards the other watch hours. So just a second.
Well, if that does, I'll go put my playlist on the watch hours.
Right. And
Okay.
also, Cajun Johnny on Cajun Root Reseller that was saying he put one of his on the podcast and that he's gotten a lot of views on it. And then somebody last night was saying about putting your old videos on your community page. And so I did
Yeah.
that. I put a previous video and I said, in case you missed this live, check out these tips, and put that. So we'll see if I get any views off of it on the
Okay.
on the community page. But anyway, let me Google that question. Okay, Norma.
Y'all have fun.
Does the watch hours on YouTube podcast go towards the 4,000 watch hours?
Okay, here comes somebody else.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
But hi to all my friends that are hiding in the background. If y'all are here and you know who you are, you can call me tonight, but not at 12:30.
Hey, Echo, my
Yeah.
other one got hacked. That's why I got the new one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just let you know. So,
Excuse me. But that podcast for YouTube must be something new.
oh,
It's been on there about a month, but I didn't know. I thought you had to do more work than just converting over your videos you've already done. I hadn't had time to check into it.
Right. See, I watch a family and I hadn't watched them yet because I watched everybody else because I'm behind.
I'm not
'Cause
gonna hurt you.
I didn't get up early this morning. But they do a podcast and they do it on their regular channel. So will it come through? Like if I put on my podcast, if I put it on some of my stuff on podcast, it's going to come through my regular channel, but show up on the podcast side, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if people go on to YouTube and type in, podcast, they must get different than just looking for a YouTube channel. They're just looking for a podcast. But then once they, start watching your stuff, then they might follow your podcast or whatever. But I want to make sure, because the way it looked on there was like it, is generating hours, but my hours hadn't updated yet let me do something real quick.
Yeah, my hours hadn't updated either. Don't think.
It's
Go.
taken a couple of days now for stuff to update.
When you go to your studio, go over where it says dashboard and scroll down till you see earn. If anybody's watching wants to know. Then you go all the way to the bottom and you're going to see it says public watch hours. Mine's 2,660. So it did go up a little bit. So. Yeah, it went up a little bit, so that's where you go look for your watch hours if you're wondering how many you have. No matter if you're getting monetized or not, it will tell you there, you know. Now they've got a podcast you can click on.
Okay, now.
Hey, Anna.
Oh, wait.
Uh-oh.
What? Another one on mine?
No, mine.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I clicked over to look at the thing, so I wasn't watching my chat.
How do I block them? Or do I just put remove?
Block as well. Hiding them or timeout only takes them out for 5 minutes. The other one blocks them.
The stats, are you here? Help. They're back. We're on mine this time, but I blocked them, so I can do it here too. Yeah, I blocked the user. Okay, I got it going. So, no, the people last night, well, all they wanted to do was come steal my people. And I got out last night before they took over Quiet Listener. And she ended up on their live, and she finally deleted that this morning. Me and Yellow Shirt Dad got out. And then she didn't click out in time, and they ended up being under her live. So it's happening to everybody. There are people who get jealous of other people for having the subscribers or the hours, and they want you, to come to them. Which, if they did it right, people might come to them. But if they're doing it the way they're doing it, I'm not gonna go sub to them. Yep. Have at it. It's having a pop-up bingo. Do you want to quit and go over there or keep going here?
No, I'm fine here. I can
Okay.
turn it on my tablet. I was just looking at this because it does say watch hours 2.7. I think the watch hours do count.
Okay.
And it said I had 39 returning viewers and 520 unique viewers.
Where you see that?
On my podcast analytics. That's what
okay.
I'm saying. It's when you go in your regular analytics, there's a podcast section now. If you have stuff in a podcast and you just click on it, and then you can see your your podcast.
No, I don't have start. All right, I'm under my dashboard. Let's see. Where'd you say it was? I'm under my studio. Go to create.
Yeah. And you see where it said, it'll say create a
New
podcast.
Yeah, new podcast.
But I would go under playlists, and it's easier just to say, I'm going to make my playlist into a podcast.
Okay. I'll have to figure that out then. How do I get to my playlist now? Shoot.
Come out of that and just click on playlist at the top there where it says videos, lives.
I'm not on that page.
Go out of that. Go to the dashboard page.
Okay. I'm on the dashboard page.
Okay. You see it? See across the top it says videos, lives, posts.
No. Yeah, right here. I found it's under the pot. It's under content.
Yeah.
Go to
Click on
playlist.
content. So click on playlist.
Uh-huh.
And now when you click on your playlist itself, it should pull up and say, shoot, she got 12 people in there.
We have 12? Oh,
No.
playing bingo.
Playing bingo.
Said it's a podcast. Okay.
I'll just have to mute from yours if I have to. But I think I could do everything on hers with her sound muted.
Right.
Let's see.
They won't let me do it. Said it's a podcast. Do I have to upload a picture?
Yeah, you're going to have a thumbnail. And it has to be a square, not your regular size thumbnail. You have to make it smaller.
All right. I will find a thumbnail picture.
Well, see, on Canva, you can make an Instagram post square that fits in there. And so I just took my regular thumbnails and made them onto that and made them that size.
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
Well, you can email me the picture and I'll do it for you and email it back to you.
I'm just trying to pick a picture and it won't. It has to be
No.
square.
Yeah, no, Norma, I'm not changing it to a podcast channel. I'm adding podcasts to it. I can show you how to do it too, and we can do it for real life. It just is another facet of YouTube. People who, and they can still watch it as a video or they can just play the audio on it. Either way. And really, it's as easy as, like I just said, making the square thumbnail and then just clicking it on there and setting it up. But if it'll give us extra views and extra watch hours and stuff, hey, and we might even get some subscribers if they like the podcast. They might like the channel too. I'm going to make like an introductory video to put on the podcast. And, that way I can ask them to come sub to my channel too.
Okay.
Norma, I'm playing bingo and on here, so if you want to go play bingo, feel free.
Well, I got a picture up there of it's me and my husband. I guess it don't matter.
Whatever you want to put on there, that's fine.
That worked. And I've been clicking on other pictures, and that one worked.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I guess it's meant for me to use it.
There you go.
It's successfully set as a podcast.
There you go. And so now wait a day or so and then go into your analytics, and over on the right hand side, scroll down a little ways and it'll say podcast, and then just click on that, like the video, the playlist inside the podcast, and it'll pull up your analytics for that, and you'll be able to see if you got any views or not.
Yes, I go into my analytics and then go down and
On the right hand side, scroll down and there'll be a section called podcast.
I don't see that yet. So I know I gotta wait, but I don't see anything where it even says podcast on here.
Well, probably because you just set it up. You got to wait till you have some analytics for it to show up.
Okay, I get it.
Oh, Black Widow just got a bingo. Yay.
I just set my whole podcast as my whole playlist as a podcast.
Playlist as a podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I saw that it was getting views and stuff, then I went back in and I put some other stuff, other playlists on there. But I'm going to be trying to get all my stuff converted over to it because I have like over 300 something videos, that I put on there. So
I'm going to take and make another playlist then later with since I've been, if I have some of the same playlists on the second playlist, because I don't know where I started and stopped,
Yeah. Well, I have a bunch of different playlists on my channel because I try to, put things in categories of what the topic is and everything. But I made one up called the sample of my stuff, If you're new and you just want to check out and see what my channel's like, you watch the sample stuff,
Well, all mine are Big Matt told me to just put them all in one thing to get your hours and numbers up,
Because then somebody, if they put the whole playlist on in their background or whatever and just run it for you.
I'm going to do that for a while. And then when I get my numbers up again, I'll separate things into categories.
Yeah.
I'll put candy playlist and, my stuff, my lives and all.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. Cause I don't want to lose any hours. I want to gain hours.
No, you shouldn't be losing any.
Well, okay. If you don't get enough, what do you call it? Views and stuff, they can take some of them away, but I hope not.
Oh.
Yeah. So, anyway.
But it does seem like it takes it longer and longer to update the watch hours.
Yes.
When you look at that, I mean,
yeah. Now, how do I see if my night body's working? I go under
under your settings and look and make sure he's not blocked.
Okay. Permissions. He's not. I don't think he is. No, he's not there.
Oh, you don't have him as a moderator then?
I did.
Well, I'm just saying, if he's not there as a moderator, then you must have clicked him off. You're going to have to put him back on.
So how do I put him back on? Just click in there, standard moderator.
Yeah, I would. Just type in Nightbot and hit enter, and it should do it.
Nightbot. There he is. I put him back. I don't know why he got kicked off, but I put him back. Probably yesterday when I did something trying to get rid of those people, I probably hit the wrong button.
It happens.
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
We'll see if he starts working again. Well, Christian left.
Oh, I guess you did.
Yeah. Yeah, she remembered my account. It's the only one she said she remembered. So she found me, and then she said she's got to start putting people back on her. She wanted to know if I knew Harold's, and I said, no, I don't. And to be honest, I can't remember what his whole name is half of the time. So, anyway. It's Quiet Listener will have hers tonight at 10 o'clock our time, right?
She's not doing one. It was one of her people, a 4-hour live thing. She sent me a messenger about it.
Oh, she's still on that one.
I just told her I'm doing a live with you and that I'll come over there when I get done. But then Norma just messaged me and said something. Let me see what her said.
I mean, after we hit the 1 hour mark, we can shut down and go somewhere else.
Joe wanted to know if I would do 10 games on our channel after they get done doing the 10 games over there. I'll just tell Norma if Norma wants to.
I just need, the hours. Trying to debate if I want to go. Sunday we're having cooking at our church. But I'm not really happy, because I don't know if I'm going or not. I got cookie mix I can go in there and make. I bought stuff to make homemade cookies, but I'm just not in the mood to.
Well, then you know what that's telling you. Then you need to start listening when you have those kind of feelings, like you don't feel comfortable there, you don't feel like making nothing. That means don't go.
Yeah.
Start listening to yourself, because you know what you want to do and what you don't want to do. You no longer have to do stuff just because you think that's what you should do.
Right.
If you don't feel like it, don't do it. I mean, and I'm not saying not to go to church. I think it's wonderful to go to church. But if you don't feel comfortable there, you're not going to have good fellowship anyway.
Yeah. They're nice, but I sometimes feel out of place. You come back, Candy?
I used to do things all the time because that's what I thought other people expected me to do or wanted me to do. And even though I didn't want to do it, I did it because I thought that's how I was showing my love for that person, by doing what they wanted me to do. But really it wasn't, because it causes resentment. After a while you're like, Why do they keep making me do something I don't want to do? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but you know, when you start having, you know, when you start having those kind of feelings, that's your self trying to tell you that's not what you need to do. I mean, and sure, I know you want to get out of the house, and I know you don't like being there by yourself, but that doesn't mean go do things you don't like to do, you know, or don't want to do.
I mean, I don't know if they're watching the videos or not, but it's just hard when they don't tell you that, oh, I can't pick you up, or and you're ready, and then they don't show up, you know, and
Well, and that's another thing I used to do too, is I would rely on other people to make me happy. And you can't do that. You have to be happy with you and your life, regardless if there's anybody else in your life or not. Because if you're waiting around for, oh, I'll be happy when I have a new friend to go places with, or I'll be happy when I meet somebody to date, or, you know, whatever the case might be, you're never going to really be happy.
right.
You know, it has to come from you. You have to figure out what it is that you can do. And all of it goes back to the fact that you're missing your husband like crazy. You're you're missing who you thought you were when you were his wife and you were married in a couple. And now you find yourself being a single person, and you're no longer, you know, in that marital situation. So you're like a whole new person now, and you don't know yourself. That's how I was when I got my divorce. I was like, what? I have to make decisions only for me? You know, it's a hard thing to deal with. It really is.
I mean, when he worked, I went to the grocery store by myself, and I did errands by myself because he came home from work 5:36 at night, and was in bed by 9 o'clock because he had to be at work so early.
Yeah.
And so
but it's still the fact that he was there in the house.
Yeah.
And the fact that if you wanted to spend time with him or you wanted to talk to him, he was physically there in the house.
Yes. Yeah.
And now he's not there.
No.
So it makes it, you feel differently now because you're not in the same, I mean, your whole mind, not only is your heart broken and you're sad and you're lonely, but your mind is like, now what do I do? You know, how do I do this by myself? How do I know what's the right thing to do? You know, I mean, even though mine wasn't through a death, my divorce was like a death. It would have been easier if he had died than to know that he didn't want to be with me and that he left. You know what I'm saying? Right. It would have been easier just to accept the fact that, you know, he had a freak accident and he died. But that's not what happened, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to, when he retired, we started doing things together, go in the grocery store, you know, together. And now that I've got to do it again by myself, it's sometimes like, do I really want to go? You know?
I mean, and I do it now. I'll say, am I going out to the grocery store because I don't want to stay here by myself anymore? Or am I going because I really need stuff? And I guess with me, because of having the baby, I had to plan, you know, when am I going to do my errands and when am I going to get this done and when am I going to have time to go do that? And is that something I can do with the baby, or is it easier if I do it when I don't have the baby? You know, that kind of thing. But I'll tell you what, on the weekends, sometimes when she leaves Friday afternoon, I may not step foot out of my house until Monday morning when I go and pick her up. Yeah. But that's my choice. My car is sitting there with gas in it. I can go wherever, whenever I want. But sometimes I just don't feel like it. But I've learned how to listen to myself. You know, when I just don't feel like doing something, I don't do it. Or if I'm tired, like even today, you know, I should have been all excited about being, you know, last day of school and now I have free time and everything. But I was exhausted. And so as soon as they left, I was like, let me kick back here and rest a minute. And next thing you know, 3 hours had passed, you know? But obviously I needed that sleep, needed that rest, or it wouldn't have happened, you know.
Yeah,
But before I would have been like, I couldn't even stay awake all day. I had to, go to sleep. Now I'm like, hey, I sleep when I can sleep, and I don't when I can't,
and another thing is, since gas prices went up about a year ago or more, I try to go out and not have to stop. I try to do everything that I can think of in one day.
Right. Make a trip, one trip. I'm the same way, you know.
Yeah.
Try to
And
make a trip out of it. Try to make sure, I have what I need until the next time I'm going to go. Uh-oh. I don't know if she meant to do that or if she just got kicked off. She'll be back.
I'm back. I don't know what happened. My screen went white, and I clicked on the screen to make it go back to the picture again. I don't know why my screen does that. I've got
I
a
was
bad
like,
computer.
I don't know if she meant to do that or if she.
No, if I've got a bad computer and it just goes white blank screen, and this computer's not that old. I bought it about a year, 8 months ago. No, before my husband died, because of the other one messing up. So anyway, but no, it's just that like I needed to go take clothes to the Goodwill, but I didn't want to. I actually kind of forgot, but I didn't really want to. I don't really want to go out unless I need to go to more than one place,
Yeah.
So they're just going to set in my car until I go out again.
And that's fine, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm further along because it's been 8 years for me. So
Right.
I've figured a lot of things out about how I have to manage myself,
Yeah, and I can't just say I got a new friend just have a new friend, I
Right.
don't know how
And
to say.
I mean, maybe what you want is friends, and maybe you do want to have somebody else to date. You want to date somebody. You don't know yet, how you feel about it. I've had enough time to realize I don't think I want anybody,
Well, now I
So,
don't want anybody. Yeah, I don't want anyone right now.
yeah. But I mean, you miss that companionship and you miss that closeness being with somebody and all that. And I understand that. And eventually you will either start dating or you'll become like I am and say, I kind of like my life the way I got it, So,
Yeah.
but you can't ever know what is going to happen. We were living our lives thinking we were happily married, thinking we were going into retirement. Our kids were grown. Look how great everything is. And then all of a sudden somebody pulled the rug out from under you. And now it's like nothing you planned for is going to be what you planned. Everything is now going to be different. But that doesn't mean it can't be good and that you can't enjoy your life and have a good life and have fun,
Right.
But
Yeah.
you've got to work past the idea of you're not it's not that you've lost the person you were. It's that now you can rediscover who you are as a person in the situation you're in right now.
Yeah.
Instead
And
of
it's not.
thinking I'm somebody's wife, this is what somebody's wife does. You can think of it, I'm a single person. What do I want to do in my life?
Yeah. And in the grieving classes, some of them were talking about that they did nothing but hide in their house for 2 or 3 or 4 years. They didn't want to go do anything. And then there are some that are go, 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 go. And you got to take the in between road. You can't stay in your house,
Yeah.
but you can't.
But what
And
I'm saying is too is cut yourself a break. If you have days that you just don't feel like going anywhere or doing anything, that's okay. And if you have days where you're like, okay, I cannot sit another minute in this house by myself, then go to the grocery store and find somebody to talk to, or get on live and, call me, whatever, but don't beat yourself up because one day you feel okay, the next day you're sad again or whatever. It's okay. However you're feeling is how you're feeling. And it's okay to feel those feelings. It's hard to feel those feelings.
yeah, and if I'm not happy at the church, I like the church, but I just feel like that they really don't want to take the time extra, even just to walk across the street and say, we're going to church, or call me,
Mm-hmm. It's almost like the bus is going by, and if you happen to be out there ready and catch that bus, you can go. But the bus isn't going to come and stop and honk the horn and be like, Roxanne, let's go. I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, and I can't have. I can have friends, but I can't do it just because to make me happy. If I'm not really happy,
Well, and I think what I'm afraid of for you is that it's almost like two things have to happen at the same time. You have to grieve James, and you have to move on. And you can't do one without doing the other. Right. And by not grieving James and trying to meet new people and do things and fill your time and your mind with all this other stuff, you're still not grieving James. So even if, say, 5 years down the road, you have new friends, you have a new place to live, your life is going great, but you haven't grieved for James, you're going to still have to do that.
Right.
So, I had to go through all the stages, hating my ex, feeling sorry for myself, wondering if there was something I could have done different. Just all these things. And you have to work through each one of those sets of emotions and situations until you get to where you can say, okay, I did the best I could with what I had. And now I have to pick up and I have to go on. And this is not the life I wanted, not the life I had chosen for myself, but this is the life I got.
Right.
And then look at the things that you still have in your life. You're still somebody's mother and somebody's grandmother. That hasn't changed,
Right.
And you're still a sister. You still have a mom. There's so many things in your life that didn't change. But the one big thing did change.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to fall into depression and say, you know what? I got a rotten deal and I'm just, it's not fair. That was my thing. It's not fair. What did I do to deserve this? It's not my fault,
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter why or how or when it happened. It happened because that was part of God's plan. And part of God's plan for you is for you to be able to go on with your life and live the rest of the years you have as a happy person. Same with me. My life is nothing like I thought it was going to be. And I feel like I invested all that time and energy into a marriage that is no longer there, But also while I was doing all that for my family and my marriage, I wasn't taking care of Echo very well. So now my main priority in life is taking care of me,
Yeah.
I can't rely on anybody else to do it. I have to be the one that does it. And if that means that I have to be a little selfish and tell people no and, not stretch myself out so thin and all that, then that's what I have to do. And it was
Yeah.
hard. The first time I had to tell somebody no, I wouldn't do something to help them, or I wouldn't do what they wanted me to do. It was hard. It really was hard because I was so programmed into I'm the one that helps people. And yes, I can do that. I can do everything. I can help everybody all the time. You know, no, sometimes you can't. And that's part of the healing process is when you realize not only do I not want to do it, I don't have to do it,
Right.
you know, and start thinking about, I mean, I had to think of everything. I was like a toddler in a grown person's body. I didn't know what I liked, what I didn't like. I didn't know what made me happy, what made me sad. You know, people would ask me, you know, what kind of movies do you like? Well, I don't know. You know, my husband liked this or my daughter liked this. Okay, but I didn't ask you what they liked. What kind of movies do you like? Well, I don't know. Let me stop and think about it. You know, that kind of thing, to where you have to stop thinking of, you have to start thinking of yourself as an important, valuable person,
Yeah.
that you have a right to have opinions and to have things you like and dislike, and not based on what your husband liked or what your kids liked, or, you know, just on what you
And I
know.
can't rely on the neighbors. You know, we used to go, my other neighbor and I used to go to the grocery store for the last year and a half every 2 weeks because my husband didn't, sometimes he didn't feel like going. And so for like the last year, a little over, she'd say, all right, we'll leave him here and we'll go. This was a new store that opened. And we
Mhm.
started going there. But now she's got her own roommate and her own thing. And so I said, you know, if I want to go, I'm going to get in the car and go. But my problem was I was used to going with somebody.
Yeah,
You
and
know, I
that's
got to,
okay. And if God wants you to have somebody that you can do those kind of things with, you're going to meet that person.
yeah,
You know, just be open to the idea that, you know, there may be somebody right there where you live that's in similar situation that also needs a friend, you know.
yeah,
Don't close your mind off to the idea of that, you know. But
yeah,
on the other hand, don't try to replace your husband with a friend that also has their own life to live, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
But
Because,
I couldn't, I couldn't wrap my head around that it was okay to do what I wanted to do. You know, like, I don't have to ask my husband. I don't have to consider my daughter's feeling, you know. I can
yeah,
actually do whatever it is that I want to do. It was
yeah,
a foreign concept to my mind, you
yeah.
know.
When I went off to Florida for the first time, when Miss Linda wasn't looking, I was sitting there crying.
Yeah. But you should have been able to cry in front of her, and she should have been able to understand why you were crying,
Yeah,
you know. And
yeah,
if she can't do that, she's not going to be the kind of friend that's going to help you through it either,
right.
you know.
Up until Christmas, when her friend moved in, it was like she was there. And then all of a sudden, everybody just drops off.
Yeah.
I don't know. Norma hadn't said if y'all going to play bingo or not, have you?
Um, yes, Allison, we are going to play bingo over at Norma's channel. Real Life Happens whenever they get done over on Joe's channel. You want to play?
So I'll come over. Can I piggyback? I just sit in the
Yeah.
background. I'll just sit in the background. I don't even have to be up on stage. So,
Yes, she
but
does want to play. Good. Good. But
Yeah.
life changes, and I mean, there as women, I think we're taught that we're supposed to be the nurturers and the mothers and all of that, and we spend so much of our adult life taking care of somebody else, and then all of a sudden we're in this situation, and we don't know how to take care of ourselves. We don't know how to make ourselves happy because we haven't done that. That wasn't our concern. Our concern was making our family happy, making sure our family was taken care of. And I know, people go through being empty nesters when their kids go off to college and things. It's yes, I will, honey. I'll text you when we start. But it's like you take so many years raising that child up to get them to the point that they can go be independent and live on their own, whether it's college or working or whatever. But yet when they actually move out of your house, instead of feeling like I did a good job, my job is done with that part of their life, now I can have free time to myself, we're like, they don't love me anymore. They would rather go live somewhere else than live with me, and things like that. And so it messes with your mind. It's like you want that to happen, but yet when it happens, you're like, wait. I'm not ready to be on my own. I need her to be there. But you have to let them go. And it's kind of the same way in the thing with the divorce. Even though I was mad at him, I didn't want him not to be there, because he was my best friend. And that's hard too, because, you're like, I shared things with him I'd never shared with anyone else. And there's no way to replace that. You can't.
That was me. He knew things that I haven't probably told anybody.
Right. Yeah. And probably knew me better than I knew myself. So that part is hard. But I can honestly say it's been 8 years. Overall, I've had more better days than bad days. I've had my share of the bad days, but I've also had to give myself the pep talks, and I've had to say, you're making the right decision. You're doing, the right thing by whatever the decision was I made or whatever. But I do honestly think you need to let yourself grieve. However that is, however you have to do that. Don't keep pushing it down or pushing it out of your mind,
Right.
James wouldn't want you to do that. He would want you to do whatever it is that's going to make you happy.
Right.
And you just have to figure out what that is. And maybe it's being a YouTube star, and maybe it's not. Maybe it's just being I'm trying to think of your grandson's name. Don't tell me, because I know it. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Movie star. That's your hit.
Mm-hmm.
He's named after a movie star.
Clint. I knew it. I was like, I'm sitting here going, her daughter's name is Joy. And I'm like, why can't I not remember the little boy's name? But I mean, maybe what you're supposed to do is be Clint's grandma, move closer to him and be there as much as you can be for him, I don't know. That's like with me. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my life. I really don't. But you know what? I'm open to any possibilities. Anything that, comes my way and I decide, hey, this is what I like, or this is what I'm good at. That's what I want to do,
Right.
And it can change from day to day. It really can,
Yeah.
But it's okay to, hey, Cruising Scene, how you doing? It's just
But I
really
can't force it.
No, you can't force it. And you can't make it, you can't make yourself believe that, okay, I've grieved and I'm better now and I'm over it. No. You'll know when you're never going to get over it, but you'll know when you've healed, when you can talk about it and not cry.
Right.
You know, and that might take you 5 years. It may never happen. You may always cry when you talk about him, you know. But the idea that you have to force it or that you have to make it happen sooner than it's going to naturally happen, no, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You have to just go with the flow of it. But don't, I guess what I'm trying to say is don't suppress it. When you
Right.
have those feelings, go ahead and have them. Even if it means sitting there all day doing nothing but crying and thinking about them. That may be exactly what you needed to do that day, you know?
Yeah, and I can't force neighbors and neighbors to do things for me. I've got to learn to do things for me.
Right.
And that's hard.
And maybe what you need to do, instead of waiting for them to invite you or ask you to go and do, you need to call them up and say, hey, I'm thinking about going and doing such and such. What do y'all think about that? Would y'all like to make a day of it? Would y'all like to go and do whatever, you know?
Right.
And see, it may change the whole dynamic of the relationship when you start being a little assertive in that, you know?
Yeah.
And if they say no, and the worst thing that can happen is they say, nope, we don't want to go. Well,
Yeah.
that'll pretty well tell you how they really feel about things. And you don't want fake friends anyway,
No.
you know?
Like she said she'd take me to Costco. I don't have a Costco card. And I don't want to put money out on a Costco card unless I know I'm going to use it all the time.
Right.
You know? And so, I can't say, hey, I'm going to Costco if you want to go. She's going to say, you got a card?
Well, no, but you could say, I really would like to go check out Costco's to see if it's worth me getting a card,
Right.
you know? So how about let's plan, when could you take me, you know, or when could we go together and I could check out Costco's and see. I honestly, because I used to have a Sam's Club membership, which is a lot like a Costco's, but as a single person, you're not going to buy in bulk on a lot of things, you know? So there probably won't be a whole lot that you'll want to get from there to get your own card. But then again, you never know, there might be.
Yeah.
know.
I mean, I see people go in there and big families and buy a lot of stuff. And I see small families go in there and they like the Costco clothes or the Costco water. Because, you use a lot of water sometimes, Certain things you use a lot of, but.
Exactly. Cruising Scene says, I wouldn't get together with a lot of people I work with if I didn't initiate the lunch. Now we go once a month. Exactly. I mean, sometimes you have to just take that initiative, you know.
Right. One of the ladies that I went to grief share with, well, we all got together and had a thing, but we couldn't hear each other half of the time. And me and her were going to go by ourselves. So I may text her and see, hey, would you like to do lunch next week? Because she doesn't live far from me,
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, the worst thing that can happen is they say, nope, don't care to do that.
Right.
And it might hurt your feelings at the time, but it'll tell you really fast their intention.
Yeah.
And then don't waste any more time with that person. Find, meet you somebody else or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, they're good in the group and being polite and nice, but sometimes after you get out of these different groups of, even the senior citizen group, they said, I'm glad she's gone.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's gone.
Well, and the thing about it but I guess in the past, I can honestly say that I tried to get along with people I didn't like just because I wanted to have friends.
Yeah.
Now I'm not like that. Now I'm like, you know what? If you drive me bonkers, then I can't be your friend, and I'm okay with that.
Well, my best friend couldn't even call me and say I don't have a ride to my
I
to
know.
Jace's
His
funeral.
funeral. And to me, if it was your best friend, they should have dropped everything and made that happen, to be there to support you. Just like I did with my friend. I'd already been through losing my dad, and her dad was dying. So I knew it was coming. And I told her, and I told my husband and my boss, look, when I get the phone call that he's passed, I will go and I will be with her. However long that takes, I don't know. And they were both like, okay, But I mean, I warned them up front ahead of time. I'm going to tell my husband, I'm going to need you to take care of the baby. I told my boss, I'm going to need a few days off. That's just, how it is, because I'm her friend and she's going to need somebody there to support her, and not somebody that is also dealing with the loss of her dad, And so that's what we did.
I know my friend can't walk that well and uses a walker.
Mm-hmm.
But my daughter said if Dot had called us, we've known them since our children. They're only, he was born on the 22nd, I think, of October. My daughter was born the 31st of October, same year. We met when they were 11 years old.
Wow.
And she couldn't even, call and say, look, I'm sorry, I'm having difficult walking. I can't come, or I need a ride, or my son's going to be going out and he can't take me,
Mm-hmm.
She didn't tell me any of those things.
Cruising Scene says true. Sometimes you have to accept people the way they are. Everyone has something that bugs you. Now, there are exceptions, of course, right? And I mean, I think we have different levels of friends, somebody that you're going to see a couple of times a year. You don't have to have, they can have a few things you don't care about because you're not there all the time. But if you're going to have a friend like my friend that basically had kidnapped me when my husband left, we spent so much time together. The little things that she did that aggravated me really got to aggravate me,
Right.
So I think, normally you don't spend that much time. You might spend, a couple days here, a couple days there with somebody or whatever, but you're not with them 24/7. And so it does make a difference, as far as that goes.
Well, I always thought like a best friend was someone you probably called 2 or 3 times a week and you met probably once or twice a month. But I'm finding that's not true anymore.
Well, to me, even not having to see the person, to me, a best friend is somebody who knows about my life, knows what I've gone through, and knows what I'm going through, and can give me that comfort and understanding no matter what is going on, at the time.
Right.
And like I said, I basically have 2 people that I consider that kind of friend. I could call them in the middle of the night and say, hey, I went out of town and now I have, I'm broken down and I need you to come get me. And they would both be like, where are you at? I'm on my way. And I would be the same way for them. Now, have we ever been in that situation and had to do that? No. But I just know in my heart that I could do that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Sometimes you, like Cruising says, you could see someone every couple of months and pick up right where you left off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, my neighbor, she cuts her phone off at 11 o'clock every night. Doesn't turn it back on until about 9, 10 o'clock the next morning. Because she doesn't want to be bothered at night.
Well, I guess I can't do that because I have a child and I have a grandchild, and you never know. Speaking of which, I better make sure this phone is not on vibrate. I don't want to get yelled at again. My daughter was very upset with me for not having it on there.
Yeah. But, I mean, I told her, she's got children, but they don't talk to her. One of hers is dead from drugs, and one of her grandsons in jail. They don't, she left home at the age of 12, been on her own ever since. Lots problem went on, She knows where the bodies are buried kind of person,
Yeah.
jokingly. But her family don't give a crap.
Hey, Fancy Glam, how are you?
But I would still not turn my phone off. Miss Linda had her phone turned off the day her roommate fell. So her roommate found my number in her phone. Linda had given it to her and called me. And I got up and I went and got her.
Yep.
I went, over there to help. So that's, I don't care. Back in the 70s when you didn't have a cell phone. You had a house phone.
Yep. Well, we used to have pen pals too that we wrote letters to. Now see, that's the beauty of the internet to me, is that you can really develop friendships with people over the internet. I mean, because we can't touch the person, but you can see them and hear them, and it's almost as good as being there. I mean, and we didn't used to have that.
Yeah.
And meeting people all over the world. That's what I'm really enjoying, is getting to meet people from different countries. And I have questions, I'm sure their way of life is different. And which reminds me, Dagmar sent me 2 emails.
Yeah, here, let me drop the link. Cruising wants to come up.
Oh yes, definitely. But Dagmar she sent 2 emails, and I've got to read them to you. The one is so sweet. She's telling us places not to stay, areas not to go to, like not to go to the train station at night, and this and that. And I said, this is exactly the kind of information I needed, because I know nothing about being in a foreign country. Right. So, yeah. So remind me.
My friend that went to Paris, she said the place, I don't know where she stayed. I'd have to ask her, but they did it on Miles and Points. And yes, the room had a bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so funny when I saw that, though.
All right, here comes cruising.
Okay. That some places you don't even get a private bathroom. That was hilarious. Hi.
You're muted.
Yeah, she's getting rid of her internet, I think. Or her YouTube.
Okay.
There you go. Can't hear you.
You got to unmute. Oh.
Yeah, can't hear you. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you. You've got yourself muted down there. Unmute yourself. It says you're muted.
She froze. I think she froze.
She froze. Now I hope this is a real cruising scene. Well, no. Or not no. But no, I can't. In my mind, I guess I try too hard to make friends and it backfires on me. It's not that I'm not really.
It's because you are a nice, thoughtful, generous kind of person, and you think everybody else should be that way too. And they're not. And that's an important thing you have to learn, is that not everybody, a lot of people are out to get what they can get,
Yeah.
And those are not the kind of people you want to be friends with.
I mean, I go to that church and they all come up to me, hello, how are you? But there's only like 20 that show up. But when we have a dinner, there's probably 30, 35 that show up. Those that don't come every, And I just still feel left out of place. Like my neighbor really doesn't want to take the time to come and pick me up or something,
Mm-hmm.
or don't, or she's 50 something years old. I'm 63. I think she's 51. I forget how old she is. Her daughter's going in the ninth grade. And she didn't, like last week, she told me, I had told her I was going off in a, not a text message, but in a voice message. She said, well, I didn't even come home, and I forgot to tell you I wasn't, I couldn't come home before I went to church. I just went where I was at, straight to church.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me after the fact, and I would have been sitting here waiting and waiting and waiting. And that's what
Yeah.
I just feel like.
So it's almost like you question, is she taking you out of obligation, not because she wants your company to go there?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the Michael, our friend, who's my mechanic now. He wanted to move in, but he was doing it, thinking he was going to help me move in because my husband. He's the one that helped my husband that fell. They're the one that's called 911, and he died on. I didn't know my husband died on his birthday until that Christmas. He says when you came over to the neighbor's house, I am not going to say her name. And told me he died. That's why I let out that scream, cry. And he said, I'm a man that will cry. He said, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and he just felt like obligated. I had to take care of this woman.
Right.
And it was way too soon, still way too soon.
Well, and thank goodness that he realized, because you could have ended up in a really bad situation. And I don't know that having him there would have helped you heal and move through it any faster, because you didn't need another man living there. You needed your husband there, so it would have been a strange.
And I've got to learn that I can't rely on everybody anymore. I've got to rely on myself.
Right.
So,
okay. I got to turn this. Let's see.
There's a holiday weekend, and there wasn't anything special to me and my husband this weekend. Wasn't we? Never in the younger days when Joy was home, we would have the popsicles and the ice cream out in the freezer, right? Freezer, and we'd cook out. And one of the neighborhood kids might show up. You got a popsicle? Joy, and they'd go off and play and eat popsicles or ice cream. And we didn't have too many of her friends come over for dinner. We only had one. But she didn't have it she didn't eat with us a lot because of her mother wanted her home.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go ahead and go pop over to
Now you're leaving.
Yeah, well, I told them I'm coming, but very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Where are you going?
So much for the Peppa Pig dresses.
Oh, did they fit?
Yes, and my daughter, she couldn't believe somebody actually sent something.
Oh.
And I told her, I said, the only reason I put it out there is because people were asking me, and she's like, yeah, but nobody will send anything. And so when I got them, and I said, I already got the first thing, and she was like, oh, really? So yeah, so that was really
4-year-old granddaughter. So
you're getting ready for the bingo, right?
Yeah, they're setting up now. So I'm gonna have to run over there to my friend's channel. But you're welcome to stay here and chat with Roxanne.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll come over there in a little bit.
Okay. Everybody that's on my side, I'm going to Real Life Happens for bingo. If anybody wants to come, and I guess I'll just mute and still be on here, won't I? Because I can't get off.
No,
Yeah.
you
Probably come
just
to
need
bingo.
to get yourself in the other one.
The bingo is going to be at Real Life Happens. You know where that is?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I'm connected with her, so that's cool.
Okay.
Bird
Good.
cage behind me. Everybody asks what that is, but that's the bird cage. So
A bird cage. Okay. All right. I'll just mute and turn my camera off, Roxanne, and go over there. Okay. All right. It was great meeting you.
nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How are you? I know you're having a hard night tonight, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. How long ago did your husband pass away, if you don't mind me asking?
September 13th.
Oh,
My dad died.
we're still live, aren't we?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're still alive.
Okay.
Okay.
September 13th, when?
This year, 22.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
Oh,
my dad died September 13th, 22.
oh,
My dad died that morning, and then my husband died that night.
yeah,
Not anything related. Just, it happened.
yeah. I swear I've been telling people there's something in the air because we're probably close to the same age, and we've had a lot of losses this year too. My husband's brother and my sister. So yeah, it's
Yeah, and I had a classmate pass away day before yesterday. And I said, we're all in our 60s, 61, 62, 63. And
66.
what?
66.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
husband was 67 when he died.
Okay. Woo, knock on wood. Woo.
Yeah, he was 68, excuse me, 68. And so
Was it cancer, if you don't mind me asking?
dementia.
Oh, that's hard too. God bless you for taking care.
Yeah, it wasn't bad until he fell. He was out cutting the grass, and I just give him some water, and I came back in, and within 15 minutes after giving him the water, my neighbor's banging on the door. Your husband's out here. He's fell and he's bleeding, and we've called 911. And he went and I convinced them to go to the hospital.
Wow. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lot. But you know what? Keep doing this YouTube thing, because I have really, I haven't been with y'all very long, but I've really enjoyed meeting both y'all. And who knows, maybe we'll go on a cruise together someday, or a trip or something. And
Yeah, we want to do a cruise next summer.
Yeah, and I mentioned in the last chat, but I don't know if she got it right. There's a man that does a lot of cruises that is in the cruising community, on YouTube, and I consider him being honest. And he's Ocean, the number 2 Ocean, and I don't know if Echo wrote Ocean TOO, but it's actually Ocean 2, the number 2 Ocean, and they're a big cruising community. I went on a group cruise with a bunch of people last year, and it was wonderful. I mean, just meeting YouTubers is pretty cool. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Meeting, we all live so far away and everything, but, because you were talking about friends and stuff, but I consider them my friends for life, even though they're all around the country. The people that put it on are from Australia.
Right. Yeah, I met a guy on a Quiet Listeners page.
Quiet Listener, she's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were talking about they gift out cruises for people who've never had one, and you have to nominate somebody.
Oh yeah.
Yourself.
Yeah. That's the Helping Hands for Cruising.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to nominate somebody, and I can't nominate myself. I've never been on one.
Right.
When my husband was alive, I'd say, let's go on a cruise. Bye, have fun, Let's go to Hawaii. Bye, have fun. I'm not flying 10 hours.
Right.
He loved to fly, but he didn't. He was an aircraft mechanic, 37 years. Actually, more than that, because he was in the military for 4 doing it. But he got vertigo easily when he flew. And so he tried to be a pilot. He took some training, but the guy training him told him, "You better be a mechanic than you are being my pilot."
Wow.
When our pilot friend that worked with my husband, they said when it was time for James to go take his training, you had to do it every so many years and get in the simulator. He said we put it on the easiest setting there was, but we knew to have a barf bag ready anyway. He passed every time, but he just could not. So we flew a little bit in our over the years, but not like I wanted to,
Right. So I would like to maybe talk to you in private, you know, not with everybody,
Yeah.
you know, and maybe there is something to something that you mentioned a little bit earlier as far as financial situations and you never being on a cruise and your husband passing, and um it's it's a
Right.
it's a group called Helping Hands for Cruising. And
Yeah, I've heard of it.
yeah, and the bill, actually, the man that I recommended you to for a travel agent is having a Helping Hands for Cruising group cruise. And I don't know I don't know if he has somebody for his cruise, but I know there's another one. I mean, I'm not part of the board. I am not part of the board. I can nominate people, but I am not part of the board. But
Right.
I know of the numerous Helping Hands for Cruising cruises that are going on right now. I don't know if you've ever been on their channel, but Kenny, who has cerebral palsy and numerous other things going on, we were on the initial Helping Hands for Cruising group cruise this
Okay.
past October.
Yeah. Well, let me cut off the live then, and we can stay on and talking because after that we're gonna play bingo.
Okay.
All right. All right,
Sorry.
everyone. Y'all, thanks for coming. We'll see you on the next one, maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday, Sunday. Who knows? But y'all have a blessed night. We'll talk to you later. Bye. All right.